What's up, guys? I'm over here bumming it in an old t-shirt and my sweatpants because I might get a little wet or a little dirty today. We've got a project, as you know by the title of the video. I am starting a small grow out tank, my first kind of plant grow out tank. And I'm doing that because I've got 5 tanks and I've got a lot of plants that are maturing and growing and they've got good root systems and we trim them all the time. I hate to throw the plants away, and so I've been taking them down to my local fish store and they've been generous enough to give me a little store credit every time I bring some plants in. So we're gonna start a little plant business here to help pay for this hobby. Might even start a website, I'm not sure. Anyway, right behind us here, you can see I've got another 10-gallon tank. It's empty, and today we're going to just fill it up super simple, and I'm gonna put some plants in it. So if you wanna watch me trim some plants and set this thing up, keep on watching. If not, I guess I'll catch you on the next one. All right, let's go. All right, guys. First thing we're gonna do is crush up some root tabs here into a powder to put in the bottom of the tank. Now the reason I'm crushing both Seachem's Flourish tabs and API's root tabs, the reason I'm doing that is because the API tabs are pretty much like nitrogen, phosphate, potash, and iron, whereas the Flourish tabs, they have many more nutrients here on the back, but they're low in iron. So we're kind of combining both of these. And I saw this on another channel, and that's where I got the idea from. I can't remember who it was. Well, I can't remember, so I can't give them a shout out. But you may have seen the video. It was recent, done by one of the good aquascaping YouTubers. Anyway, I'm going to crush this stuff up here. We'll put it in the tank. Next, I've got my fluorite black here. This is not the sand, this is just the regular clay substrate. I think we are deep enough here that I should be able to plant into it if I have to. And you'll see I really don't need much substrate. I just want to be able to stick the ends in. Well, I'll show you. Alright, here's our 75-gallon bass tank. I'm going to start here with some plants that I want to remove out and get prepared for grow out. To start with, I already have a bunch of Pogo Stemus, Pogo Octopus, you know what it is. So I've already had these in here growing out. You can see I've already got them on the little grow out rings, what I'm trying to say, little lead weights. Already got them tied to the lead weights. You see they are starting to re-root. All right, I do want a little bit of hair grass as well. We want to start growing out some hair grass since Billy has already torn up a bunch of this hair grass. And we've got a little on this other side here. Just take a little bit of this that's torn up. All right, I want to grow out a little Java fern here, so I'm going to cut some of these plantlets off of the leaves here. Actually, we'll just trim this whole leaf. Grab the plantlet. A couple little plantlets right here. It's just looking messy right here, so I'm just going to cut these messy spots off and regrow them out. If I tug on this leaf right here, this is actually rooted to the wood. This Java fern has grown and attached itself to the wood, just like nature. Well, it is nature, right? All right, well, we'll leave it there. Our moss is going crazy too, attached to the wood, but we'll let it go. I'll grab this guy here. Some of these plantlets hanging off here. It's amazing how this Java fern works. The plantlets grow at the very end of the leaves, and then they bend down and grow roots. You can see the roots And when the roots touch something, they just wrap a hold of it and hang on. And that's how it spreads, and then you get these massive Java ferns. Next up, we've got some Alternantheria, I can never say that, Renike. We've got some of these that I temporarily planted because I knew I was doing this grow out tank. So we'll pull these guys out. These are all temporary plants that I just kind of stuck down in here so they could start rooting. And they did exactly that. Having a good old time. And while we're at it, we'll trim this one here again so that it bushes itself back out. I do a pretty good job at growing these Renikes. Look at that purple, it's amazing. This Kabamba here is just not doing good in this tank. I keep the light kind of low in here to control algae. So I think what I'm gonna do is pull all of this out. It does have roots, and I'm gonna pot it up and see if we can plant it and get it to grow in the new grow out tank. And over here, there is one little, what is this? This is a jungle red. I think it's a Vallisneria jungle red. But there's one little shoot over here that is popped off. I love this hobby, guys. It's so interesting to learn about these plants and how they root and how they spread. Let me see if I can get in here and actually get this guy without pulling the whole plant up. Don't break. Oh, there's another. Okay, I got it. There was another kind of runner. Is there another one? Here looks like another baby one right here. Look at that. Yeah. Cool, we can plant him too. Alright, I think that's going to do it for this tank. Let's go hack up my wife's guppy tank because that thing is just full of plants. Alright, here's our 10-gallon guppy tank, and we've got some Bacopa australis, that's what this is here. And then of course we've got some more Renike in here. There's some more Kabamba. All the Kabamba's coming out. I'm gonna pull it up and uproot it. It used to do really, really good in this tank, and then now it's not. We've got some Anubias here. I don't know if I can get a piece of this off to kind of cultivate it. We'll see. And then some more Pogo is in here. Pogo stem and Stellatus octopus. Let's get some trimming done. Now, this is going to look pretty aggressive. I'm going to cut these back pretty hard because this tank grows so fast, and I'm not worried about it. And I want to get some light down to the lower leaves here and kind of really fill this stuff out and bush it up. Don't really need more of this, but I want to thin this out for some healthy growth. And we can always sell them, so it's okay to pull them out when you know you're going to make money on them. Alright, we're going to start with the Pogo stem and Stellatus octopus here, and these just go on, hopefully you can see this. These just go on a piece of lead weight. Now, if you buy lead weights, you'll get like a pack of 10 of them, and they're kind of expensive. So here's what I have done. I went on the old Amazon, and I got lead sheeting that's cut in strips already, but they're a little wider than what we normally use for, for plants. We want them a little skinnier here. So we'll see if that comes in on camera there. So what I do is I buy these come in a pack of 10, and they're like $6. I'll put a link in the description for these if you guys need some plant weights. This is a way cheaper way to go about it than buying plant weights pre-cut. So here's what I do. I've already used some of this roll here, so they are much longer than what you're seeing here. About 4 times as long, because I've already done, as you can see, I've already done a bunch of these octopus plants here. So, as you know, lead, it is soft. So any pair of scissors, slice this guy right up the middle, and now you'll have 2 strips. And then you can go ahead and trim them to whatever length you want. I only need about this much, so about in half here, for the pogostemmen. And then I just take these guys, just going to show you one. I have some little snippings here, but you just take these guys. I do 5 stems, kind of pre-bend this in a U, wrap it around there. And I'm sure you've all done this before when you removed them, so just the opposite. But since this is a video on prepping plants for sale, there we go. We have a bunch of 5. Now these have to grow out a little bit. 5 to 8 inches is about where you want to sell them at, and so these will need to grow out. But I wanted to show you that one real quick, and then we'll put these in the tank. And now you'll see why I wanted a little substrate in the tank, because I want these to show roots when I sell them, because it just looks better that way when you sell them. So what I do is I just kind of barely stick them into the substrate. I'm not really planting them deep. All I'm doing is just taking them, and here's a good example. Let me pull this back out. So this guy here, you can see, has just a bare root or bare stem right here. So when I stick this down in the substrate, it will sense kind of the nutrients and hopefully produce some roots. So we'll just stick these guys in there. You can see I've got quite a few bunches. I'm not going to go over price on what I sell these for, but do the math when you have this many bunches already prepared. So they say money doesn't grow on trees, but it does grow in water. Now for the bacopa, we do the same thing. About 5 stems is what we're going to bundle together. I've already showed you, on the pogo stem installatus, so I'm not going to do it on this one here. I'm going to prepare these up and get them in the tank there, and we'll move on to like potted stuff. I did forget to mention, guys, when you are grouping your plants up from trimmings, you want to make sure you do them about the same size. So I would not want to put this piece here in this bunch, because they're not about the same size. Now you see a shorter one here, but it's close enough to the same size, right? Here's the reason. This bunch will be ready to sell when all of these are 5 to 8 inches tall. If I put one of these short guys in here, I'm going to be shortchanging my customer, and when you're dealing with somebody like a fish shop, they're actually going to inspect and see what you're giving them, and so you want to make sure you're selling good bunches. That being said, if I group all these little guys together, sure, they're not ready for sale now, but when they all grow out, they're going to grow out to the same height, and that way you're ensuring that you're being fair to your customer, and that they're getting, kind of what they paid for. Anyway, just a little tip there. All right, Kabamba, same thing. This stuff is looking pretty weak, isn't it, guys? We'll see if we can get it to fill out and grow out. All right, now for potting plants. So we're going to do this alternanthera, and we are going to, where'd my scissors go? First thing I'm going to do, trim a little of this root off here. We don't need all of that root. Don't be afraid to trim roots. Trimming the roots actually promotes more root growth. So you can kind of pull these roots down, give them a little snip, right? Not going to hurt the plant at all. All right, so here we've got our plant. That guy's almost ready for sale, to be honest with you. But we've got that one there. Here's our pots. These are your standard mesh pots. Mine are a little skinnier and narrower, but they're just a pot. That's all you need. And then I've got the rock wool here. I will put links to both of these in the description as well. Now I got 1.5 inch rock wool, and I probably should have got 2 inch rock wool. And so I'm going to use 2 cubes instead of 1. A little bit more wasteful, but I think it's going to work out better in the long run. Okay, so here's your sheet of rock wool. You can kind of see how they're just stamped in like a sheet. There's a fatter side up top and a skinnier side on the bottom there. This is where your little seedling normally goes. We're going to do it a little bit different. So because I know we're going to plant quite a few, we're going to trim off one of these kind of ends, rows. We'll trim off a row. There we go. And then just going to cut these into cubes. I guess you could tear them, but every time I tear them, they just shred. All right. Now, as you can see, it kind of fits in there, right? And we could probably get away with that, but that's only because my pots are skinny. However, on a normal pot, you'd probably want to slice these in half. So you stick your scissors in there, and then you can crack them open. That's how you get them around a normal plant like this. So if you had a 2-inch rock wool, all you would do is pull this apart like so and stick it in there. Now I'm going to put a little bit of little root tab in here as well. Alright, so in here I've got my powdered root tab. All I'm going to do is just take a very small pinch of this and sprinkle it in there. Not much. Take our plant, was this the one? No, I think this was the one here. Yeah, we already trimmed the roots on this one. And I'm just going to stick it in there in the little crack that I made. Stick it in the pot, push it down a little bit, and then you can't see this off camera, but I'm just dipping it in the aquarium. When you dip it in the water there, your rock wool is going to swell up. See? Again, I wish I'd have got 2-inch rock wool. It would have been a little taller, and that would have filled the pot in a little bit more, as you can maybe see. So, what I'm going to do, come out of here, guy. All right, take the rock wool out. All I'm going to do is I'm going to slice some of these cubes in half. A little wasteful for me, but slice some of them in half. Shove that end down in there. And then put my other one on top, and now it looks like I've got, you know, a nice full pot of rock wool. Alright guys, I got little partitions of hair grass here for planting in pots. Now I know they look small, but the idea is that this is a grow out tank, so we want small little pieces and we're going to let them grow out. I don't want to destroy my entire landscape taking big clumps and get ready to immediately sell them. At some point you'll get to that, but for now we just have little clumps. Then like before, all we do is we've put a little bit of some root tab, crushed up root tab in there. Just stick this in the rock wool, grab your pot with a little bit that's in the bottom, and boom, one planted piece of hair grass. Alright, for selling my epiphytes here, I have rocks that are about 2 inches, or about 1.75 inches, that I just had laying around, some river rock. My particular buyer, right, my fish shop, they want the epiphytes to be about a 2-inch rhizome for them to buy them and sell them, put them in their tank. So what I'm going to do is, even though these guys are small, again, remember this is a grow out tank. So we've got about 7 of these. I did find a little teeny tiny piece of, I think it's a Nubius. It looks like Nana Petite. And I don't know where it was floating around. It was stuck in one of these plants, but I found a little piece, and so we're going to plant this one too. Now this is our shrimp tank, our orange-eyed blue tiger tank. And the last step we got to do is strip this tank of its CO2. So pretty easy. We're just going to take the diffuser. It's directly underneath our grow out tank. Alright, so we got our diffuser here, and I guess we'll just stick it in the back here for now. Alright, I stole the CO2 from the shrimp tank here because, you know, it's growing out just fine, as you can see. It's pretty well established. I don't think I need CO2 in it anymore. But, you know, if I do, I'll put it back in. So here's kind of a final shot, guys. The water's a little cloudy. I know it's not like some pretty aquascape thing or anything fancy to look at, but you might want to just see how it looks here. I did forget to show you the potting of the, what is this? The red, what is it? The jungle red right here in the back. So, you know, nothing special. It's potted like the rest of them. Anyway, here's kind of a final shot, guys. I did have to steal the light off of the Wallstad tank here because my light is not here yet. It's on order. It will be here. It is another Hygger light, but it's going to be a low flat light to get maximum lighting for the grow out tank. And also it is a little bit higher wattage. I think this one is a 12 or 14 and the one I got is like 18 or something. I'll put a link in the description as well for the light that I ordered, as well as this light here. I'll put a link for that light in case you want to pick up this one here. Nice little clip-on light. Alright guys, you know what I like. Comments down below. Let me know what you think. I'm pretty excited. I mean, it's nice to be able to like trim your plants and then not just have to replant them in the same tank or plant them in another tank and then all your tanks start getting full. You're not quite sure where to put everything. It's nice to have a dedicated tank. You can just throw some stuff in there. Even if you don't feel like potting it, you're in a hurry. Just trim, throw it in there. It'll be in the water. It'll be fine for like the next day or two until you can get to it. So I'm happy about it. You know, growing these plants is so much fun, but what's more fun is allowing them to start paying for the hobby. So we're going to start generating some income here, and that's really what I'm excited about. It's going to take a long time to pay off, you know, just the tank and stuff, but we'll get there. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, thumbs up on the video for me. And if you're still watching, thank you guys so much for the 350 subscriptions now. You guys are killing it with the subs. I mean, it's like every week we're gaining like 25 to 30 subscriptions. And I appreciate the support, guys. It really means a lot to me for this new channel. So thanks for helping me grow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video. See you on the next one.